chapter 6? What was it about? Kind of general summary?
The chapter 6 or chapter 5?
We're on 6, right?
Yeah, but so you are asking about the summary about chapter 6?
Yeah, chapter 6.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
Well, in the chapter 6, okay. Okay. So in the chapter 6, we have several ceremonies in the chapter 6. We have a celebration of the naming, the ceremony of loves, murmur of replacement ceremony. In this chapter, the writer didn't say about a lot of details about the ceremony of 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 or 7. Is Jonas and their group made the ceremony of 12. That's it, I think.
So mostly it's about the ceremonies. This is the ceremonies, okay?
Yeah.
December has come. Okay, so we're going to talk about the ceremonies in detail. All right. What ages do we have ceremonies?
I think 12 and 9, but I'm not sure.
Actually, there is with the ceremonies when these are babies, because the first ceremony is when the babies get their names and the family units.
Okay. So they actually have, I guess, little ceremonies at every age just to celebrate you're becoming a new age, kind of like a birthday ceremony, but not really. But then certain ceremonies, you gain privileges or something special happens. So the ceremony of wands is when the babies get names and a family assigned to them.
Yeah.
Okay. The 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, I don't think anything special happens there. B is what happens at the ceremony of 7s. What new privileges do 7-year-olds get?
Okay, on the ceremony of 7s, the kids get their front buttoned jacket. It was the first sign of independence.
Okay.
Because I think when they are more young and they wear a kind of jacket, but that thing is buttoned in the front, no, in the back. So in this case, when they are ceremony of 7s, they can have the front and bottom jacket and with small pockets because they can care about her own belongings, I think. No? I think I mean.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the book said that the buttons in the back for younger kids kind of teaches them interdependence. They depend on other people to help them.
Yeah.
When you become 7, you're kind of a little bit independent. You can start buttoning your own clothes now without help. Okay. All right. Number C, what new privileges are granted at the age of 9?
9 is important.
Tori, we'll let you talk mostly if you like. It's okay. Or Aaron's also welcome.
I'm not the only one, so I don't want to become this in a monologue. So see if Diane and Ivan want to talk. So that's
I'm
okay
fine.
For me.
I'm fine. That's if you want to talk, that's okay with me.
Deanna's English is as good as mine. She's not really here to improve her English much. She's just here for social
Social
Yeah.
skills.
social
Yes, yes,
contact.
and plus my daughter needs to say hello to everyone.
Right.
No. I just enjoy. Yeah, fine. If I find some more details, of course I will talk. But don't worry.
Well, okay. So when it's the ceremony of nights, the girls get rid of their hair ribbons and they get the bicycles so they can ride their own bicycles. So when I remember when the kids in the ceremony of Nevan, the night, so the kids come or show up in the stage, and they, is they get that bicycle, but in the end of the day, so they can ride the bicycle in that moment. So they need to wait until the all ceremonies is pass, and after that they can ride their bicycles. So
Okay. So before 9, you're not supposed to ride a bicycle,
no,
Yeah.
but this rule is kind of loosely enforced. They let you kind of secretly violate it. Why?
why? Because the older sister and brothers teach to the younger brothers and sisters. So it's kind of, secretly hiding life between, brothers and sisters.
It's Yvonne. Yeah, let's get Yvonne to participate here. Yvonne, the younger kids are taught by the older kids how to ride bikes before they're allowed to. What's the reason they do this?
Hard to say. Maybe they don't want to teach them by themselves. Just saves your time, saves their time.
They're trying to help the younger kids, so when they ride their bike for the first time, what will happen? Tario, you too. Or Yvonne?
They will fall down.
Well, without being trained early, that's right. The first time they get on their bike, they're going to be clumsy and fall, and people are going to laugh at them. So to avoid that embarrassment, the community kind of lets the older kids train the younger kids a little early. So when they first get on their bike, they can proudly say, I can ride my bike, and they don't fall over. So it's to avoid embarrassment is why they kind of let people break that rule a little bit. Okay. Which is nice. Okay.
But maybe the younger kids,
Guys.
they usually just ask. Sorry.
Guys, I need to get my phone, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. So I think that probably younger kids, they usually, whine about those bike. If they have the older brother or sister, of course you want that bike, and plus if it comes at a certain age, of course you want to be grown up. When you're a young kid, you always want to be grown up. When I was a child, I wanted to become 16. It was like the big number for me, like the I don't know how to say that, like the border of adulthood of the kind. And actually I left my home and left my parents, so actually it was my adulthood. But I really wanted something that older kids had, so probably it's not just the older kids kind of had to do that to avoid this constant whining. And for older kids, it's also like a teaching moment. I'm a grown up. I can show you how to do that. It's kind of nice both ways, I think.
It's a win-win situation. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay.
And plus, I really enjoyed those lines that older friends told them, "Oh, how can you? Should I show you how to ride a bike because you are the first time on the bike? I know that you're the first. So it was kind of a joke, you know, like the inside joke. Yeah, thank you, Dee. So yeah.
Toriel is here.
Yes, Toriel is here. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. Go.
Okay, what does Kukat mean, or Kukat?
Kukat?
What?
What is it?
Her shirt.
I don't know. it's some I think it's Japanese, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
When I went to Taiwan,
Sayonara.
when I went to Taiwan, they'd have shirts with English on there, just nonsense words that made no sense at all.
Yeah.
They just put random English words there to feel international.
Maybe it's the case. I am not sure.
Might be. Okay.
Okay, so many mosquitoes on my net. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. I'm here.
Okay. All right. How many people in the community normally attended the ceremonies?
The entire community attend the ceremony each year. So the whole community.
Okay, it was kind of required that everybody go, and probably there wasn't much going on, so it was the only entertainment in town. So
Yeah.
everyone went
Yeah.
all the time. So big social event.
Is it? Yeah, the entire community attended. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, at the ceremony of wands, it talked about two ceremonies called the naming ceremony and the placement ceremony. So what were those about? Toriel, the naming ceremony, can you tell us about that?
Well, the naming ceremony is when the babies get their names. So before the ceremony of naming, there is a list. So the committee make a list about the naming. So is the thing that babies get their names, and the placement is kind of, to locate or to find the right family for every unique family who applied before to get a baby.
Okay, so the names are basically on a list from 1 to 25 for the boys and 1 to 25 for the girls. And you just get whatever name comes up for you. So it's kind of objective and arbitrary in a way.
Yeah, so every the couple, they don't need to choose the sex of the baby and the name of the baby either. So the committee, they just they send the baby in a family with a specific name. So it's
okay. You might get to choose boy or girl the first time, but the second time you have no choice. Okay. Why is that?
I don't think that they choose the first time either. They just.
You don't think so? Okay.
No, they just if you receive a girl, next time you'll receive a boy. That's it. But they do not choose the. So just imagine if everyone wants a boy that year, just all over the sudden. So probably they don't choose.
Good point. Okay. And people have to do an application to get a baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes they should wait for a long time. So at least 3 years after marriage, actually. And some of them don't do that. Some of them wait longer.
And that's probably a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, right?
Because we have people that get divorced in the first year or two over here.
Well, we also have people who get babies like a couple of months after marriage. So and then children have questions afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question was, how much time was, I should say, Jonas's father given to restore Gabriel back to health?
Probably a year.
Okay, 1
because-
year.
1
Okay.
year. So he thinks he probably next year uh, he will get her family, and probably he can see Gabriel in the community because he will be part of the community the next year.
Okay, so Jonas's father had to ask the committee for a 1 year extension so that instead of releasing Gabriel,
Yeah, so
he
that's
had a
an
chance to get healthy.
extraordinary situation, right? So
Yeah.
usually they release the children like Gabriel who are doing not so well. So the Gabriel was not sleeping well. He was kind of weak, not growing that fast.
Yeah.
That's why usually they release whatever it is, the children
He
like
was a
that.
little sickly, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
So
so
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
So I don't know. So Gabriel got an extra year, but
Mhm.
the committee releases babies with the same or similar characteristics that Gabriel's issues. So what is the reason to beg for Gabriel to get an extra care?
You mean, why did Gabriel get an extra year?
I think Tori, we lost her.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. Yvonne, were there any conditions placed on Jonas's father when he got Gabe for an extra year?
Sorry, can't remember.
You didn't read the story. Did you read
Yes.
the story?
I read it before, not recently.
Oh, you got to read it recently, otherwise you won't remember the details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they had to promise not to get attached to the baby and to let it go freely when the year was up. Like you can promise that, Okay. We lost Donna now.
Yeah, something wrong.
It's spreading.
I can recall that baby had some problem, like crying too much or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of sickly. It wasn't healthy when it was first born. It grew slowly. Later, it has trouble sleeping. Yeah. Toriel's back. Diana's back.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh,
Welcome back. We lost both ladies there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So strange.
Something kicked me out and said there is no connection to the.
All right. Okay, the story introduced a few names that we hadn't heard before. Do you remember who these people were? Philippa, Bruno, Caleb, and Fritz.
Fritz. What's the name?
Only
Bruno
Fritz.
is kind of a doggy name.
Yeah. Even they didn't like the name Bruno.
Yeah.
Okay. So who was Philippa? Do you remember?
Yeah, Philippa was the baby sister of Asher. So he got a new sister the last year, the previous year. So there is no many details about Philippa. So is that
Okay, didn't say
Asher.
much about her. Okay.
No.
Okay, what about Bruno? Who was Bruno?
Oh, Bruno is the new brother of Fiona, and she doesn't like his name.
Okay.
So there is a big gap between Fiona and Bruno, and the same thing happened between Philippa and Asher.
Okay, big
So
age
he-
difference between the kids. So
Yeah.
the parents waited a while for the second child for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, because on Jonas, when he was 5, when he got Lily, I think he was 5. So in this case, Fiona is 12, and now sure he was 11. So it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Caleb? What's special about Caleb?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, Caleb was a replacement child.
Okay. What is a replacement child?
Okay.
That would be a nice thing to have in communities too.
Yeah. Well, the replacement child is when a family loves a child. So I don't know if the couple they need to apply for an other child, but I remember there is a rule. It's kind of rule in the community when every unit family need to have 2 kids. So the family who lost a baby, he needs to apply for another child. In this case, Caleb is a new Caleb because this in particular couple lost a baby whose name was Caleb too.
A replacement child is when a family loses a child due to death.
Mhm.
In the case of Caleb, I think he fell into a river and drowned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you lose a child due to death by accident, then you can apply for a replacement child. So Caleb replaces a previous Caleb who died in a river. Okay. So it's kind of strange how they do this replacement. They have the replacement of the ceremony of loss.
Yeah.
And the ceremony of murmuring or something. Is that what it was called?
Murmuring.
Okay. All right. So that symbolizes the loss of the previous child and the replacement of him by a new child.
New
Okay.
child.
All right. So that covers the H really. What's a replacement child? And then we had Fritz. Who was Fritz? Even the name is appropriate for him.
He was the boy next door.
Okay. And what was noteworthy about Fritz?
Because he was he did have the good behavior. He was a awkward child, so probably he's a troublemaker. He was failing in the school, so he wasn't well organized. So probably his parents is not good, to show that good guidance for this child.
Okay, something about his behavior kind of reflected badly on his parents.
Yeah.
It always does.
Okay, he was a little bit clumsy. He was bumping into things, and so when he got his bike, he bumped into the podium, and everyone kind of embarrassed.
Yeah, just left the shoes, whatever he, found fit. So he didn't pay much attention to all those details, but for the community, that was really big deal. That's why poor parents were kind of embarrassed.
We have an idiom. If something is on the fritz, that means it's broken. Okay,
So
the refrigerator's on the fritz. It's broken. I don't know where we get that from.
Yeah.
So Fritz is a broken child.
No, on the fritz. Well, maybe Fritz is clumsy, right? Maybe he's broke. Yeah.
So I think Fritz represents the opposite to the community. It's all opposite.
The name Fritz here may be coincidental, But normally on the fritz is an English expression that means something's broken.
So Fritz is not a name.
It is a name.
It
It's
is
a
a
German,
name.
I think. It is a German name,
Yeah.
but probably it's just. That's interesting. I will have a look at the etymology of this expression
Right.
because it's interesting. So probably, you know, maybe it comes from a name, like a German name, and usually after the World War II something, it's kind of a negative meaning to it. So probably something is going on, but I'm not sure. I should
I
look
don't
it up.
know. But yeah, just coincidentally, Toriel, on the fritz
Okay.
means broken. So Fritz being a clumsy person is just a coincidence that they chose the name Fritz for a clumsy kid.
Oh, I
It's
got
just-
it.
But it is
Just
an
coincidence.
unusual name, right? It is an
Yeah.
unusual name. I mean, for the English-speaking community, I would say.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So Fritz, okay. Replacement child we talked about.
Yeah.
How about the
Yeah.
ceremony of loss? How do they do that? What's its purpose?
Mhm.
Mm,
So that's very, very rare, right? Ceremony of loss is very rare in the community.
So when a child dies, like Caleb,
mhm.
what do they do the whole day to kind of
Mhm.
honor or pay homage to the past child and to comfort the parents?
Well, I don't know how can it comfort the parents, but okay.
Yeah, I guess that's his purpose. I don't know, but
Yeah.
So,
But it is interesting. Mhm. So
so
they're
the whole-
whispering, they're pronouncing the name. So
Mhm.
at the beginning of the day, they pronounce it loud and often, right? Frequently.
I
But
guess so.
yes, later and later, as the day progresses, they pronounce the name like softer
Mhm.
and more and more. How to say that? So the period of time in between those, you know, uttering the name is
Right,
becoming
yeah.
longer and longer. So yeah, and then at the end, by the end of the day, they just whisper this name.
They whisper
Like,
the name. Mhm.
yeah, they whisper the name, and then it's just like disappears. It helps to realize that the child is not longer with the community anymore. So this is
I think
interesting.
it-
Mhm.
I think it may provide some comfort for the mother, because if everyone is saying his name, it's kind of honorific, like everyone is sharing your loss. So everyone says the child's name, everyone remembers him throughout the day, but his name gets softer and softer until Caleb he's been honored and now forgotten.
Well, the parents are in shock. It doesn't matter what the other people do at this moment, you know. they
Yeah,
don't care.
probably.
No.
Okay. And then at the new ceremonies, when the replacement child is given to the family again, they have a murmur of replacement ceremony, which is kind of the opposite of the
Reverse,
murmur of loss.
Yeah. Mhm.
They start out soft and get louder and louder, and then, yay, you know, Caleb is here.
Yeah. So that was like the special naming for the
Yeah.
community.
Mhm.
Mhm. Like two ceremonies in one. Mhm. Yeah.
So I have a question. This new baby, the replacement baby, Caleb, he got the same name than the previous Caleb. And there's a new baby, Roberto, who is calling in the same way than the older, you know, the elderly man. He, you know, he was released the last week, I think, in the history.
He was released, yeah.
Yeah. So when the committee make the list, they put name there, but I wonder if this name can, you know, repeat, or it's just, you know, to get a different name. Just they replace or they call the same name when a baby is who died. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the paragraph I just pasted in chat. The paragraph said another new child was given the name Roberto.
Mhm.
And Jonas remembered that Roberto the Old had been released recently, but there was no murmur of replacement ceremony here because release is not the same as loss. So you are allowed to repeat names. But if you repeat the name for a replacement child, you have the ceremony of murmuring, the murmuring of replacement. But if an old person dies and a new kid just uses the name, that's not a replacement situation. So
Yeah.
Roberto Kid did not get a murmuring ceremony because he wasn't a replacement. He was just a new child. So they
it
can
wa-
reuse the names.
okay. So it was a coincidence that this new baby is Roberto and the elderly man. So in the case of Caleb, they put the same name because he was a replacement baby.
Correct.
So the couple got a new baby with the same name because they are replacement the baby that they lost before.
Right. So
Yeah.
they got a murmuring ceremony,
Okay.
but
So the
Roberto
community-
didn't.
Mhm.
Okay. Go
The
ahead.
community is, they plan everything. They are planning the releases. They are planning the names. So they have like the set number of citizens in the community, right? So they can make sure that everybody has their own name, not the name which like two Robertos or three Robertos in the community. Why? They have like different names for each citizen, so they do not repeat. They can only repeat in the
Mhm.
case when one citizen is released and the new child does not have the name. So they kind of have, like the names, but at the same time, remember this Gabriel was the unusual name. Yeah, they were all just surprised to know the name. Yeah, like the new name of the child, Gabriel. So I don't know, like sometimes probably for unusual children because of the eyes, Gabriel had different kind of eyes. Probably they just use different like unusual names as well. So I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. Every living person has a different name.
Yep.
Like only reuse the name when you die or you're released.
Right.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, what happens at the ceremony of tens?
Mhm.
Okay.
Vasanth, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Vasant.
Hello,
I should say
Basan.
hello, Vasant. I don't want Bajana to hear that you're here because she will come running. Yeah, ceremony of 10. We're describing ceremony of 10. Time-consuming ceremony.
Oh boy.
Actually, the community spent 2 days for the ceremonies.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So what happens at the ceremony of tens?
Basan, you want to talk?
You're muted. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And at the ceremony of 10, they cut off their hairs, I think.
Yeah, hairdos, haircuts.
Okay.
Mhm. Like everybody the same style. Oh my goodness. Oh, but girls are actually happy about that.
Yeah.
Braids anymore. They don't have those ribbons, all those. No, they do not have ribbons before, like at the age of 9. But people don't.
New
Okay,
clothes.
but they have
the
have
girls
braids.
get new clothes because their bodies are changing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The clothes were at 11 though. That was the only thing at 11. 11 was kind of a boring ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay. They got new
Yeah.
clothes.
So at 10 they have haircuts. That's it. So they just don't. The girls don't have those plaits or plates. How to pronounce this word? Plate.
Plaits, plaited hair. I guess plates.
Plaits. plates.
What is
Okay.
plate?
This is what I do, but
Braided.
what I braid, yeah, braided hair. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Braided hair.
With long hair with Bajana, and it's a nightmare. So, but she says that she will lose all her
Yeah.
power if I cut it. I will lose my power, she says, and she's
Oh,
right.
boy.
Probably.
Ponytail's different. Yeah. Pigtails are braided.
A pigtail is the bald tails in
No,
every side.
ponytail is just one.
Yeah,
Pigtails, these are
it's
like these, two,
two in every.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually hang down low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So pigtails are braided. The ponytail's like a horse tail.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
not braided.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the ceremony of 11s is where the new clothes are given because, as Tario mentioned, the girls' bodies are changing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Undergarments, probably they get a bra. What happens to the
11.
boys? The boys get longer pants, but the boys get something else. Do you remember?
Kind of pocket. They can, to put the calculator or something like that for the school. So
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
calculate.
does this sound like a gender bias here?
Yeah, kind of. But it doesn't actually say that the girls do not have calculators. I think
No.
they all have calculators, so the special pocket, because I don't think that they differentiate the gender that much,
It may be, yeah. The girls just got to use their purse for their calculator. Okay.
Oh, they've got purses. The special calculator purse.
I guess. I don't know. They don't say. They don't say.
Pink, probably.
Pink, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't care. They don't see the colors.
No color, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right.
Okay. There was one incident where one child was given an assignment. He wanted to be an engineer, but he was given an assignment as a sanitation laborer, basically a trash man. So
Wow.
what happened during that event? How did he feel about that? Vasant, you want to try that one?
Yes, he didn't like that assignment, so he jumped into the river and he crossed that river and entered another community across the river, and he joined them.
Mhm.
Okay. Tario?
Uh,
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but he feels it's a rumor.
Yeah.
Okay. Jonas thinks it's a rumor?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Jonas is skeptical that that's true. Okay.
Well, yeah, he said that it was like, a legend, but everybody passed to one another, so he's not sure about that. Yeah.
Mhm. Urban legend.
How many other people have tried to leave the community before?
I don't think anyone.
That was the only case. One case,
Yeah.
and they don't even believe it, so I don't know.
No. Jonas don't believe it because actually he told Asher, and he was the same rumor when Jonas' father he was younger. So,
So
it's
it's
kind of it's telling but
passed-
telling not.
Down from generation to generation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cautious tale. Kind of. Mhm.
Kind of plants a seed of doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
Can I really leave this community if I want to? When 100% want to stay, usually you start wondering if something's wrong.
Mhm.
There's always someone unhappy,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably it was a rumor. It was a legend because it's one probably is a one way to keep the community organized. Is not make more troubles. See, you know are happy where are you when you get your assignment is share your mouth. Is not complain
Mhm.
about. Is probably to control the people even more.
Mhm.
All
But
right.
there was also the Asher's story about apply for elsewhere. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
So he said that you can apply for elsewhere and be released, whatever it means. So apparently, when he drives his mother crazy, she says from time to time that she would apply for elsewhere and be released. So of course it's just a joke, but there is such a possibility. He said.
And I think that goes to a committee for study, doesn't it? So it takes forever to happen. I'm not sure.
Well, but this release thing, the word release in this context, it's kind of interesting. So you can leave the community only through release or what?
Or going elsewhere. Yeah, you can be released or go elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows where, right? Elsewhere.
Still a mystery right now. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Who can tell us about Asher's swimming abilities?
Well, he can
Besides,
swim.
he can swim?
He can swim. He's too heavy and he sink. So he's probably
Cannot.
he's not.
He can or cannot swim?
He can't swim.
Can't.
I mean,
Okay.
he doesn't have skills for swim.
Okay.
Yeah.
He sinks. He said he sinks like a rock. He sinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So he's not good at swimming. So he wouldn't make it across the river.
Right.
Okay. All right.
When he described this problem, he used the wrong word again, just making it funny. So he said that he didn't have the right boyishness.
Boyish.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's a good, well, let's bring up this word. You might think it looks like buoyancy, but we pronounce it buoyancy.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's why he said boyishness, because boy, it's like the first syllable. Yeah.
Buoyancy is your ability to float or sink. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And the next question is, if you don't like your community, what can you do? And Deanna touched on this already.
Okay.
Right.
You can apply for elsewhere and be released.
Okay, so the rules do allow you to say, I want to go to another community.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think this is true.
Why the other community? The word was not the other community. To apply for elsewhere. Maybe this elsewhere means, I don't know, the place where you get after you're released, So this is the elsewhere. It's not other community in the text.
Is
apply
that right?
elsewhere.
Just elsewhere? Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the boy who swam across the river, he joined the other community, according to this urban legend. But you can apply for elsewhere and be released. That's what it says in the.
You can apply for elsewhere. Okay, you're right. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can apply to go elsewhere if you want to. Okay, but no one's ever done it but one boy, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, the boy, it was the different story. He just crossed the river and joined the other.
That's right.
No, and right. the mother who just was sick and tired of Asher's behavior, wanted to apply for elsewhere.
Okay. Okay, we've touched on the process of getting married, but let's talk about it one more time. How do you find a spouse in this community?
Mm-hmm.
Basant, let's give you some speaking time.
Yes, we have to apply for the match, and they will give. It might take weeks or months or years sometimes.
Mhm.
So it depends on the match, because the opposite, how do you call, the match has to fit with your interests
Your mate.
and your skills. Yes,
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
Compatible. All right.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is talking about arranged marriages. This is an arranged marriage
Mhm.
society.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to marry this woman. Okay. All right. And now, once they're married, when can they have a child?
After 3 years.
Okay, they have to wait at least 3 years to make sure they're compatible. Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so the kids don't have to have a divorced set of parents. Okay,
Yeah.
so like I say, that would be probably a good thing for America. When you get married, you got to stay married for at least 3 years. Oh no, let's just be friends. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the question here is: just the man can apply for the matches, or the woman can apply too?
It didn't say, so I guess either one. What do you think, Deanna?
Probably both can apply. I'm not sure.
It
I'm
doesn't
not
seem
sure,
to be
so-
patriarchal. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to give the man any more power than the woman. So probably
Mhm.
either one.
Mhm.
Okay. They have two labels when a child is newborn. They're either labeled as, well, I guess normal or inadequate or uncertain. What do these tags mean as they relate to newborns?
Mm.
Is it better to be inadequate or uncertain? Dario?
Well, I think is referring to the health of the child. If the child is healthy, they can get part of the community. So the baby is labeled like adequate. So if the baby is unhealthy, is unhealthy in general terms, is inadequate. Uncertain, in the case of Gabriel, he can get extra care. I mean, extra year for care in a nurture center.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's about that, that healthy. How is the baby is healthy? He will make it, or something like that. I think.
Okay, so
So
Gabriel was initially classified as inadequate and he was going to be released. But Jonas's father said, let me have him for 1 year. So they changed his label to uncertain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's uncertain.
All right. So the jury is still out.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
jury is out. But the final decision hasn't been made yet.
Well, kind of a limbo situation going on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have two thought questions, if you will.
Mhm.
At this point in the story, we've had 6 chapters. What do you think released means right now? Do you have any different idea than chapter 1 when the pilot who made a mistake would be released? I think we've learned that newborn babies are released, old people are released, people with 3 strikes of
Mhm.
bad offenses are released. You can
Mhm.
apply to go elsewhere and be released, I think.
Mhm.
So what do you think
Yes,
release
yes.
means now?
Well, I think it's a kind of polite thing is euthanasia. I think they kind of freedom and mercy killing for the troublemakers, for the babies are not healthy. They can integrate part of the community and the elderly. So probably, to get rid of about the old people. So I think, so it's my feeling. So I can explain other, other meaning about the release. So it's kind of liberation, freedom. I don't know.
We don't know for sure yet. It's just what an idea you might have. Vasanth, what about you?
It seems like a exile, to deported to some other place, not killing, not taking their life out of it. I think it's an exile.
Well, how about babies? Okay, when you exile a baby, so what will happen to a baby?
They can survive
So there
in
will
other
be
place.
outside.
So you just think, okay, I'll put the baby over there and don't look at it. So probably, yeah, I'll forget about it. So probably it will be more humane just to kill the poor guy,
Okay, so possibly there's two options for release, either euthanasia or exile. We don't know yet, but
Well, I don't think that there are two options. If there were two options, there would be two different names for those two options. They're very, very picky about the naming of the things properly. So
Precise
if there
words.
were two variants,
Mhm.
two words for that.
okay.
So what do you
Different
think,
term.
Diana?
Killing.
Kill,
I'm-
so you
I'm
are
with
with,
you
you are
here,
in my
yes.
side.
Yeah.
She's in my side.
Okay.
So
Exile
Ivan,
might be the elsewhere term. Okay. You can apply for elsewhere. Okay.
so Ivan, what do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know. He doesn't want to get problems. So, what do you think? What is your opinion about release?
Well, I've read I've already done all the chapters, so I know the
Yeah.
answer later on, but I'll leave it to you right now.
Just
to
imagine.
wonder, okay. Euthanasia is a good guess. Exile is a good guess. We've got release and we've got elsewhere. So, and people don't seem disturbed about it. Roberto is happy to be released. So maybe it's some glorious ascendancy to heaven. We don't know. Okay.
Yeah, stay away to heaven, right?
Maybe they've got technology that can extract your soul and
Absolutely.
send you onward. We don't know about their technology yet. All right.
Yeah, if they have the robes, just of one shape, I can imagine their technology. Just this year, I will sew the pocket to your front to calculate. Wonderful technology, calculator for 11 years old. Yeah,
It does.
Nice.
It does seem kind of primitive the way we, deliver food by bicycle, and it seems primitive right now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And our last thought question: why do you think there are so many formal ceremonies? They must have, 50 different ceremonies. Why do you think that's the case?
Passant.
I don't know. Probably they want to make them how do you call it? Socially active people.
Socializers.
Socially active. Why?
Mhm.
I'm not sure. They have certain rules, and like the world we are living right now, we are connected but separated with the technology. Like we are using electronic gadgets, so we are alone sometimes. So probably
Mhm.
they are like us too. I'm not sure, but it's just a guess.
Yeah, it is hard to communicate with calculator in your pocket. I agree. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point.
I mean, they don't even talk about telephones. I don't even know if they have telephones and
Yeah.
cell phones. They haven't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Hmm. Mm-hmm.
All we know about is they have big speakers outside to warn the community to take cover.
It's also kind of primitive, right? Because it's like outside, like the speaker's outside, and well, and you're supposed to listen to it from the outside, not like in your home, right?
I don't know if they have speakers inside or not. They haven't said yet. Right now, we only know outside, okay, during emergencies or something.
Mhm.
Okay,
But
Tario?
they do have cameras, right?
Mhm.
Watching them.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah,
we
okay.
have that suspicious about the cameras, yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Dario, why do you think they have so many ceremonies? I mean,
Well,
they get a ceremony for everything.
Well, I think is about learning organization. The community, mark every stage, every age. When you are naming the ones, the two, the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So they say, okay, you are 7, you got this. You are 10, you got this. You are 12, you got your assignment. So it's kind of, you are, gonna say, I think it's control people. I think is monitoring people, is about, organization to, I don't know how to explain you. I have a lot of words, but
Okay.
I need to organize my ideas.
Okay.
Uh,
But one
so-
thing I would mention is every, starting at about age 7, every year you get some new benefit, some new privilege, right?
Yeah, they are,
So,
releasing tasks, obligations. The kids are more conscious about what they are doing. So I think is kind of the committee wants this. They need to learn what the kids are growing up. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you see here they're doing everything together, kind of, like they are very unite in this community, but at the same time they are making sure that you are not an individual. You are part of a bigger group. You are never alone. You are not getting anything, that the other do not have. Even the assignments, they have the set of the assignments, and a lot of people before you had that. So it's not up to you. It's not your free choice. Whatever they think about those volunteer hours, that this freedom, but this is not the real freedom. It's like the very controlled kind of freedom that they have. So in all those ceremonies, they kind of reinforce that feeling. You are a small part of a large community. So another means of control, I think.
I think another reason that they have the extra privileges every year is to make you feel like your life is getting better every year.
Sure.
You've got some new thing to look forward to. So it kind of keeps people happy because your life gets better every year. That's your perception.
Yeah, but that
Yes.
pocket with a calculator in it, it's just, the thing that just really, really impressed me. That is the thing that I would look forward to,
And I think I would summarize these ceremonies by a single motive: distraction.
Yep. I
Probably.
agree.
Mhm.
Okay, it keeps the
Probably.
people's minds busy with stuff,
Yeah.
so their
Yeah.
mind doesn't.
So
they
even
don't-
for the parents start living up to those points of their kids. They're getting excited about their kids already. So actually it's like a very, very structured thing, and all those ceremonies, yes, they keep to get
Yes.
people distracted. Mhm.
I agree, because actually the people, they don't work. They had 2 holidays. So the whole community is there.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So they spend 2 days in the ceremonies. They're naming tonight in the first day. No, 8. I think is the first. And the next day is I'm wrong. Is the name? They start with the naming ceremony, and finalized with the ceremony all night. And the next day is the 11th and 12th.
Okay, so they're kept busy for 2 full days, just
Yes.
doing ceremonies. Okay. All right, so our time is up. We'll stop here. We
Yep.
finished all our questions. So we're learning more about this community as times go by.
Right.
Jonas is now 12, so he's waiting for that dread moment when he's going to get his assignment. So next chapter, I think, we're going to find out what assignment Jonas is going to get. Okay.
Probably.
Any questions?
Cool. Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay, then I'll see you next class. Thank you for attending.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See
It
ya.
was a pleasure.
Bye bye.
Your summer